Radical theories of international relations. As we've discussed, you can be a realist and have almost any view on domestic politics. You can be a liberal internationalist and be a Republican. You can be a liberal internationalist in international relations and be a Democrat. But for our radical theories, Marxism and dependency theory, it's a little bit different. Their analysis of international relations is closely integrated with their vision of what a truly just society must be. So let's briefly look at the theory in general, and then we'll return to look at their analysis of international relations. On one level, market transactions in capitalism are just what they appear to be. Free exchanges to the mutual benefit of all involved. On another level, though, while no one is compelling the specific transactions, some of the parties are coerced by their situation, by their lack of resources. And thus, in the area of our lives that we should find the most creative, satisfying, and fulfilling, work, we find ourselves the least free, the least happy. We feel their work is something simply to get through. Although each individual transaction is not coerced, threats to the system are responded to with force or the threat of force. Between the Industrial Revolution and the New Deal, it was quite common for troops, either governmental or hired by employers, it was quite common for troops to fight against striking workers. While this rarely happens anymore in the United States, it's still quite common in third world countries, even when the companies involved are based in the United States. Back home in today's United States, employers deterring unions is more likely to take the form of spending money on anti-union consultants and firing workers suspected of being union organizers and or pro-union. That's illegal, but these laws are not very well enforced. It's sometimes mistakenly thought that Marxists believe that people are naturally good, naturally altruistic. That's not quite right. It's more accurate to say that for radical theorists like Marxists, human nature is drastically plastic and changeable. Human nature is constructed socially and profoundly is influenced by the economic system. Capitalism, for example, virtually forces people to act in a selfish way. Capitalism forces employers into conflict with workers, forces them to behave selfishly and without regards for their employees' needs. Capitalists are forced to pay their workers as little as they can get away with while trying to extract as much hard work as possible from them, simply in order to compete. Capitalists who fail to do this are in danger of going out of business and thus becoming irrelevant to the system. For Marxists, the only solution, a revolution bringing us to some form of communism or socialism led by the most oppressed classes. Our belief systems, our ideologies, our values grow out of our economic and political interests. So where you are in the economic system, what class you're in, where you are in the class struggle, will profoundly influence your views. Thus, the unsurprising fact that policies that help the rich tend to be most supported by the most affluent, policies that help the less wealthy tend to be supported by middle class and poor people at higher rates. And we don't have to believe we're being selfish to adopt these views. Our society tends to be stratified, segregated by income level. We're surrounded by people with similar economic interests and similar ideologies to us, and we hear our own views reflected back from them, convincing us that we're right. And yet, the views of the dominant class, of the economically most powerful class, tend to become the ideology of the entire society. Why?
You got to own every channel if you want to own every mind.
In the business model of for-profit media, the viewers are not the consumers. We are the product. Profit is made by delivering us, product, viewers, to advertisers. And therefore, advertisers are the customers that for-profit media services. We'll continue this, but there's a lot of stuff here already, most of it controversial, and I look forward to hearing your reactions in the discussion forum.